Hello and a very warm welcome to all of you here on this special. Today we are talking about some of the players in this season of the IPL who've surprised us, who have played against the odds, who have, some of them in this list are debuting this season and have performed really well. There are some who've made a wonderful comeback. Then there are players like DINESH, KARTHIK again. Players you felt like they probably were past their prime, players who weren't going to do well, they've done well. So today we have got a list, Nikhil and I, of all those players who've been absolutely brilliant in this IPL, but they've also surprised us at the same time. So there are some rising players, there are some players from the fringes of the Indian team who have done well. We're going to talk about all of them. Nikhil's here with me, and we'll get right into it. So the first player has to be Rahul Tripathi. Now, it took a while till the last game that Sunrisers Hyderabad played for people to start talking about how Rahul Tripathi has been underappreciated, Nikhil. But how good has he been in this tournament? And to see the consistency with him and Aiden Markram, one of the reasons we saw Sunrisers Hyderabad do well in the first half of the IPL.
Absolutely. Rahul Tripathi has been absolutely brilliant. So, he's carried his form from KKR last season. For KKR last season, he scored 397 runs at a strike rate of 140. And not many people noticed that effort. KKR made it to the final and he played a pivotal role with the bat last season for the Knight Riders. He's taken his game to another level this season. What he's done differently is his strike rate, his scoring rate. He's been aggressive, and his scoring rate is 160 plus, which is phenomenal. In fact, his scoring rate for a top 3 batsman is higher than David Warner and Joss Butler, and that is startling. I mean, no one would imagine that Rahul Tripathi will have a higher scoring rate than the great David Warner and the destructive Joss Butler. But that is true in this tournament. And therefore, Rahul Tripathi has been an absolute gem at number 3, where he's batted all his innings this season. 393 runs, strike rate 161.72. That innings against Mumbai Indians in the must-win encounter, 76 of 44 balls. Absolutely brilliant. Player of the match performance. Also, the most runs, and this is very crucial, the most runs from the number 3 position only after Sanju Samson. Only Samson has a higher strike rate. So most runs from number 3, which it becomes very significant because certain famous players from the number 3 position are not doing well for India. And I'm not saying that he will replace them, but I think he'll definitely get a chance in the South Africa home series.
Absolutely, and he should be given a chance. Why not? If he has been the best player at that position, and some of the other players who've been part of the Indian team who are playing at that position at number 3, or even are trying to get that place, or trying to make some place in the middle order of the Indian team, why would you not want to try Rahul Tripathi in that case, given how well he has performed for Sunrisers Hyderabad? Okay, hopefully he will get a chance in the South Africa series, as we are hearing. So yes, Rahul Tripathi, standout performer for Sunrisers Hyderabad. Let's move on then to a bowler who's really the king of death bowling right now. Arshdeep Singh at one point wasn't among the wickets, wasn't taking too many wickets, but his death bowling economy has been superb. And you look at the numbers and you realize he's done such a fantastic job for Punjab. And more than that, Nikhil, you can bowl one good 19th over, but what we've seen with Arshdeep is that he has done it again consistently for Punjab Kings.
Absolutely. To have, this is the stat, to have the lowest economy rate in the death overs of just 7.31 for Arshdeep Singh, who doesn't bowl at 145, 150, doesn't have express pace of an UMRAN MALIK.
Correct.
Therefore it is a phenomenal achievement. So it is what? It is a combination of his slower deliveries, a combination of Yorkers, a combination of bouncers. He mixes and matches with his left arm, left arm medium pace. To have those numbers is absolutely brilliant. Also, his overall economy rate I was seeing in all IPL, 8.51 in the death. It's still very good. It is still anything less than 9.5, 9 is excellent for a fast bowler. So Arshdeep Singh has this knack of containing in the death overs. and this, makes him a stand-apart bowler in that phase of play. Again, I think a bowler who's seriously in contention for at least the South Africa home series, if not as a left armer even for India later on.
Absolutely. And also with what we've seen now in the tournament so far, Nikhil, is that you've seen bowlers in death bowling. We saw what happened with Marcus Stoinis. Yes, he had the last laugh, but that was also because of a brilliant catch from Evan Lewis. Because at one point, length ball after length ball, when you were making it easier. That's how difficult it is when someone like Marcus Stoinis, with the experience he has, was not able to absorb the pressure. Then for Arshdeep to do it consistently, the word we've been using very often for him, that's incredible. And he needs to be rewarded by, giving him a chance in the Indian team to just see how he bowls for the team. Because I think what he's shown right now is that he can control the ball beautifully in the death overs.
Absolutely.
It's so important.
In the death overs, Meha, it's just, it's a game of inches. If 1 inch ahead, 1 inch behind, the ball is out of the park. Arshdeep Singh is, he's hitting that line, whether it's a Yorker, whether it's a bouncer, he's doing it again and again, match after match. It is a special talent, and it has to be harnessed, it has to be given its due recognition.
Yeah, to be able to control your line and length under pressure, in match after match. Incredible stuff from Arshdeep Singh. Okay, now let's talk about the next player, MALIK. He is the latest pace sensation. In fact, one of the things that one day I was talking to a friend of mine and we were discussing this, that he will get, in every match that he plays, he's going to get the fastest ball, that 1 lakh rupees. So that's 14 matches, that's 14 lakhs right there, I think, whatever is the amount of money.
Right.
Because that's what he's done in every match, other than the ones where he's had to compete with Lockie Ferguson or Gujarat Titans. He has won that fastest delivery of the match. But how good has he been, Nikhil, to see an Indian bowler bowl at 153, 154, his highest being 157. It's incredible to watch. Only because we look back at the history of India's pace bowlers and you realize how much we've needed someone like him. Just out and out fast bowler.
Absolutely. The history of Indian fast bowling started from Kapil Dev, but he was more of a swing bowler. We did not have a tear apart fast bowler. The first one for me was Javagal Srinath in the 90s. Then Zahir Khan, Srishant. Then Bumrah, Umesh Yadav and others started a revolution since 2017. But I think MALIK is a product of that revolution which started 3-4 years ago. But he's taken it to another level. I mean, even Bumrah, at his peak averaged 143, 144. This guy, his average speed is 148. He's reached 157, the second fastest delivery in the IPL ever after Sean Tate. And what he does is, see, you can't have consistency with MALIK. In some matches, he goes 4 overs 40, no runs. 4 overs 50, no runs. Other matches, 4 for 20.
Correct.
So he'll win you 5 to 6 matches, which he's already done. But he'll also, concede a lot of runs in some of the matches. I think that is good enough.
Which is something that you see with most
fast bowlers.
Fast bowlers.
And with experience, if you win more matches than you sort of get tonga, it's good enough. Whether it's a Shoaib Akhtar, whether Brett Lee, I mean, of course, Wasim Akram and Waqar in a different league, but with all these fast bowlers early in their career, this is going to happen. I think MALIK, to see an Indian fast bowler bowl consistently,
intimidate,
150, we used to hear Australians, South Africans, but Pakistani. Now we have our own Indian fast bowler bowling 150. But by the way, I have a question. Do you agree what Ravi Shastri is endorsing him for a central contract? That's a very interesting thing which is happening.
I don't know. I think it's a little too early to do that. I mean, there are a lot of other players who've been, who are above him in that list, I would think. But what I will say, though, Nikhil, is that he's an exciting prospect. And also, when you think of Australia and the pitches in Australia and how he's going to bowl fast on those pitches, I do see him doing well there.
Absolutely.
And so that's another reason why I think he should be fast-tracked. If that means he needs to now be taken into the Indian team straight on, maybe for the South Africa series, and from there on give him the the experience, then so be it. But with that speed, power play overs,
absolutely,
it is going to be difficult to bat against him. Okay, then we move on to another player who, like Arshdeep, he's got a ball on a string. he knows exactly, he can execute Yorkers at will, even in death when, like we said, lot of pressure for any bowlers, because you know that every batsman's out there trying to hit you out of the park in the death overs. T. Natarajan has held his own, and how. I mean, that's another wonderful story this season. Got injured, and I think that's where things haven't been as good with him, but 18 wickets in 11 matches, Nikhil, and another standout performer for Sunrisers Hyderabad.
Absolutely. 8 wickets in the death overs, 6 wickets in the power play. He's gone for a few runs in the death overs, but that's only because he got injured. He's a brilliant bowler in the death. He bowls Yorkers, another big option for India. In the last few overs, in the last phase of play, the experienced left armour. He's played for India before. He had a great debut in Australia before he got injured. A brilliant last season in the IPL. So, T. Natarajan, I think he's back. We've seen he's also bowling, 3 to 4 kilometers faster than I last saw him. So, I think T. Natarajan is back. Also, one of the reasons, along with UMRAN Malik, why SRH have done well and still have an outside chance of making the playoffs.
Yes. And the other thing being, I think in the first half of the tournament, he didn't go wicketless in any of the matches. I think he was picking wickets consistently in every match. So that's T. Natarajan. Now let's move on to another exciting prospect, and that's DEEPAK HOODA. That position of number 3, the moment he got to that position, you've seen DEEPAK HOODA saying, I'm going to take that responsibility, and I like batting in this position. And from there on, has been unstoppable for Gujarat.
Absolutely, and absolutely brilliant DEEPAK HOODA for Lucknow Super Giants. 406 runs in 13 matches, strike rate of 134 average. See, what he's done for Lucknow is, Lucknow have 2 fantastic openers in KL Rahul and Quinton de Kock. We saw what they did yesterday, Meha. But Lucknow had a big problem at number 3. And Lucknow doesn't have a very strong middle order. They haven't done well. Badoni did well in the start, but they've struggled. Marcus Stoinis has been floating up, and so they had a problem. But he was the Mr. Consistent in their middle order. He was brilliant from number 4. When pushed to 3, he did well. He did well at 5. So DEEPAK HOODA, no one scored more runs than DEEPAK HOODA from the middle, in the middle overs in this tournament for any team. So DEEPAK HOODA was the Mr. Consistent, striker of 153 in the death overs. For me, his middle overs play was brilliant. He was holding together. He was basically the bridge between the openers and the lower order for Lucknow Super Giants, and scoring 400 plus runs. He's not a proper batsman. He's an all-rounder. So DEEPAK HOODA has been a revelation. He can also play the role of the finisher. For me, he should be a part of the Indian team.
Okay. Then let's move on to Delhi Capitals and Khalil Ahmed. Talking about fast bowlers, talking about bowlers who've impressed us. Khalil Ahmed is right there at the top with some of the others. Again, we talk of T. Natarajan, who didn't go wicketless. Khalil Ahmed's another one who was constantly helping his team get wickets. And look at that, at a strike rate of 13.5, Nikhil.
Absolutely. Khalil Ahmed, I'm just noticing how many left armers have done well for India. Which is, at one point we didn't have one left armer. We were worried that T. Natarajan is injured, but now Khalil Ahmed has made again a resurgence, 7 wickets in 60 balls in the middle overs. For me, what has stood out is that Delhi Capitals were under pressure when Henrik Nokia, was sitting out due to injury. He was unfit. Correct. Also, they had, let go of Rabada. So in that space for Khalil Ahmed to stand up as their main fast bowler, and that is what has stood out for me. His performance has been brilliant. He's been excellent controlling. Also, Akshar Patel failed for them. Akshar Patel failed for them in the middle overs.
Shardul Thakur
failed for them.
The ball,
so there was a lot of pressure on him. So he rose to the occasion in the middle overs and in the death. It's been a brilliant performance by Khalil for Delhi.
Okay, now let's talk about finishers. How good have some of the finishers been in this tournament? We've got to start with SHIVAM DUBE being one of them for CSK. Again, Nikhil, first half of the tournament, you look at SHIVAM DUBE, he was the standout performer for Chennai Super Kings.
Absolutely.
That when you felt like nothing was working for Chennai, you felt like, my gosh, are they even going to be able to win 1 game, 2 games? How many are they going to be able to win? He was there scoring runs for them and at an incredible strike rate.
Incredible strike rate. His form dipped, in the second half, but he was absolutely brilliant in the first half when the likes of Ruturaj Gaikwad completely failed. Jadeja had failed. It was only his batting in the middle order which kept them afloat. And it was a revelation to see, SHIVAM DUBE bat like this. I've never seen him bat for any other franchise. The way he did, the way he was stroking the ball, it was almost reminiscent of the old Yuvraj Singh, tall left-hander, crunching to the covers, hitting sixes, brilliant Shivam Dube, he was one of the finishers of the tournament in the first half. Then his form has dipped. I think the overall, CSK not doing well, that burden got to him, but absolutely brilliant. A great performance by Shivam Dube individually.
And talking about somebody who's finished brilliantly in the first half, how can we not talk about Dinesh Karthik? My goodness, if there is one man right now who deserves to walk into the Indian team just for his finishing abilities, it is Dinesh Karthik. 285 runs at a strike rate of 193. Dinesh Karthik should also be given some title, dukedom, something needs to be done, like Sir Jadeja. I think it should be Dinesh Karthik should be given that, given how he batted in the first half for RCB and how he finished games for them.
Absolutely.
Incredible.
Absolutely. He's done it for India in the past in the Nidihas Trophy. Not many people expect Dinesh Karthik because he's not big build like a Russell and all, but his numbers in this tournament are matching Russell. They're matching the likes of Andre Russell. Just a brilliant hit. And we've discussed this before so many times. This is not fluke. It comes from a lot of practice of hitting the ball, practicing in the nets, practicing in the domestic match, of hitting the ball, of creating situations, of being able to sort of take the bowlers on immediately when you come out to bat in the death over. It requires a special talent to clear the field, and Dinesh Karthik has it. It's almost certain that he'll be used as a finisher, as a proper batsman, as a finisher for India. Come the World T20.
Okay, then we move on to Rahul Tripathi. I think by far, given, Dinesh Karthik played very well, but for me, Rahul Tripathi, because of, again, the number of matches, the impact that he's had, and the fact that Gujarat Titans are already in the playoffs because of some of those knocks that he played. At 215 runs, strike rate of 149 from 3.3, but what you see with Rahul Tripathi is that he gives you hope every time GT are batting, because you feel like he can do it. He can do it from any situation. That's incredible to know that, right now, if there are two people I feel like they can finish matches from any point, one is Andre Russell and the other one's Rahul Tripathi. And so just to put him with Andre Russell, I would put him with Andre Russell, not that kind of hitting ability, but the prowess of knowing how to hit in crucial situations.
Absolutely. He has, as you mentioned, 3 high impact performances, 3 scores in the 40s, and he consumed between 20 to 28 deliveries. All the matches GT won. He's done it before, so this is not a fluke. Again, just like Dinesh Karthik, comes out of practice. It's also, some of this is also gifted. You cannot hit sixes at will against some of the best bowling attacks under pressure. When your top order, some of them has not performed, 3 times in a, it's not easy at this level. And Rahul Tripathi has done it. You cannot be scoring 13, 14 over in the last 4 overs for 3 matches. It is very, very difficult at this level.
Also, Nikhil, I'm sorry, but the other thing being with Andre Russell, obviously the team's performance also comes into the picture here, but Rahul Tripathi knocks have been match-winning knocks, whereas Andre Russell, some of those knocks, they've ended up on the losing side. And also, in situations like the match that they played, Kolkata Knight Riders played, where you really needed Andre Russell to score, where you needed Andre Russell to score, he failed.
Absolutely.
So today, I would think Rahul Tripathi is right up there as the best finisher of this tournament.
Yeah, for sure. He's done it for a 2nd season now, and he's done it from hopeless situations. The pairing he's formed with David Miller, that's been one of the best partnerships in the lower order of the tournament. So I think, Rahul Tripathi has a special ability, and maybe another batsman who might just get the nod for the South Africa series.
Okay, then we move on to the emerging player of the tournament. Who else? You close your eyes and the only player you see is 19-year-old TILAK Varma. How wonderful to watch his story unfold for a team that has been the most successful team in the IPL, with stalwarts around him, with some of the most successful T20 players. TILAK Varma held his own in this tournament, 376 runs in 13 innings, but really the glue that held the middle order together for Mumbai Indians. Who would have thought?
Absolutely brilliant. when your team was struggling, when the stalwarts like Rohit Sharma, Ishan Kishan, Kyron Pollard, everyone struggled, Tilak Varma, was absolutely brilliant from number 3 in his debut season. He's still a teenager.
Yeah.
The consistency, 730 plus scores, that stands out for me. 730 plus scores, and also in 6 of the 13 innings he batted in the power play, which means he came early to bat under pressure wickets. And they've lost either Rohit Sharma or Ishan Kishan or both, and then he's coming out to bat and performing. And therefore, for me, Tilak Varma's highest aggregate for MI stands out. Rohit Sharma has already said, although I think there's a bit of bias there, that he should play all 3 formats for India.
I think he's too young right now. It probably is not such a good thing to just throw him at the deep end. Maybe he just needs to, go grind it out in domestic and then come into the Indian team. A little too early, but yes, phenomenal for Mumbai Indians, phenomenal in this IPL, the emerging player of the tournament for us. Okay, then we talk about someone who struck with the new ball and changed everything for Chennai Super Kings a little too late, and also couldn't have been just the only performer. You needed more match winners, but Mukesh Chaudhary for Chennai Super Kings, and I think Mahendra Singh Dhoni had a huge role to play in it because he was struggling in the first half, but they stuck with him. Mahendra Singh Dhoni stuck with him, and then what you saw was a bowler who gave you wickets in the power play in every single match. I mean, joint highest number of wickets for CSK, but what stands out is those 11 wickets in power plays with the experienced Mohammad Shami.
Absolutely. Those 11 wickets in the power play, getting big opposition players out early in the innings, that has stood out. Also his ability to swing and seam the new ball. And again, another left armour.
Yeah.
This is fascinating. Another left armour. We've already discussed 3 or 4. So India suddenly has these, amazing young talented left armours who've performed in the IPL, and our talent pool now of fast bowlers, it's very diverse, it's skillful. We have, left and right armers. I mean, India is becoming the new Pakistan.
And we've still not spoken about Mohsin Khan, who we
will
speak about. But before that, the return of Kuldeep Yadav. Again, Kuldeep Yadav's story was heartbreaking. In the side, in the Indian team with Kolkata Knight Riders, had been successful, but suddenly found himself out of favor with the Indian team as well as with his franchise. But the turnaround for Delhi Capitals been superb from the word go. From the first match, 20 wickets at a strike rate of 13.7. Kuldeep and Yuzvendra. Right now, these 2 are the players to watch out for, as we look ahead to the World Cup.
Absolutely. The Kulcha pairing is back. Kuldeep Yadav, who would have thought? I personally thought his career is over. He was benched by KKR last season. He played 4 matches for KKR the season before. He's not, he played for India, but, that was as an afterthought. He hasn't played much for India in the last couple of years. His career was as good as over. But to come back for Delhi Capitals, taking 20 wickets, average speed is 5 kilometers higher, which is, the difference between him of this year. And also the confidence is there. I think he's backed much better by this team, by Ricky Ponting and company, than he did by the KKR management. And Kuldeep Yadav is back. He is the same threat-ring Chinaman bowler he was 3 years back. One of the reasons his and Chahal's pairing, where India dominated ODI cricket between 2017 and 2019.
Okay, then we're going to wrap this up with our last player, not the least at all, Mohsin Khan. How impressive has he been? Another left armour in that list of left armours, so many of them, but what an impact he's had in the tournament for Lucknow Super Giants. In fact, 3 for 20 in 4 overs versus Kolkata Knight Riders, where everybody else was being tonked out of the park. To get those wickets, and at a very good economy, just giving 20 runs away, 13 wickets in 8 matches. Another one in that list. And it's a problem of plenty, really.
Absolutely, and 13 wickets in 8 matches. Look at that economy rate; it's under 6. I mean, that is insane. I mean, that is absolutely brilliant by Mohsin Khan. 5 wickets in the power play, economy rate of 5.21 in the power play, amongst the best in the tournament. Also in the death he's done well, economy rate is less than 9, 5 wickets. Yesterday what he did, when everyone is getting tonked when the average run rate of the match is above 10, and you are conceding 5,
Yeah.
it shows, I mean, that itself is a great performance. Then you
Correct.
pick 3 wickets, including the wicket of Andre Russell. I mean, what another gem from Uttar Pradesh for India.
Brilliant, brilliant performance from MOHSIN Khan as well. So that takes us to the end of our list. What do you make of it? Are there any players that we missed out? Do let us know in the comment section below. We tried to put in everybody that we thought were possible to put in what has been a 36-minute long show. But if you thought that we missed out anyone, just do write to us in the comment section below. Also subscribe to News9 Sports. That's it from Nikhil and me. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.